Can everybody hear me? This has to go from one end of Moor Crescent to the other. Welcome to our Moor Crescent Diamond Jubilee Street Party on behalf of your organising committee. We want to thank you all for your enthusiasm, for all the help you provided, and for coming here in such large numbers today. It really is a special occasion, this. Diamond Jubilees are almost, not absolutely, but almost unique in history. And we'll be able to remember this just as many of you who were here 10 years ago remember the Moor Crescent Golden Jubilee Party. Particularly for the children, they'll be able to tell their grandchildren that they were here today. Now, just a little word about afterwards. We want to try to do something this time which we didn't succeed in doing last time, which is to have a photograph of everybody. So after we've had the loyal toast and cut the cake and you've all got thoroughly drenched, we'd like you to move down the street just a short way where Nicholas will take a picture. So this is our contribution to the national celebrations. I think there are 10,000 parties like this nationally, but ours is going to be the best, and we hope you have a wonderful time. Now, there is one problem. We had hoped that Her Majesty the Queen would be here this afternoon, but unfortunately she's otherwise engaged. But we have the next best thing, because we are very lucky and privileged to have one of Her Majesty's judges as our friend and neighbour, and that of course is Judge Simon Wood. I must tell you that Simon has made an enormous contribution to organising this party, and we would like to thank him very much indeed. So Simon, can I pass the microphone over to you to propose the loyal toast?
Thank you, Brian. Well, when I swore to well and truly serve our Sovereign Lady Queen Elizabeth II, and to do right to all manner of people without fear or favour, affection or ill will, I never thought that my duties would extend to declaring bouncy castles open. Thank you for the introduction, Brian. Before the formal part, without it sounding too much like an acceptance speech, there are a few important thank yous which I'm sure that you would like me to make on your behalf. This is, I'm sure, going to be a fantastic event, complete with rain, and it couldn't have been possible without the work of an enormous number of people. I'm standing beside a magnificent cake that I hope you have all seen, made by Elizabeth Norris and decorated by Sandra Stonehouse. Nick Myers has provided music and equipment with which to hear it. And we've had a very active committee: Jackie Brown, Sean and Lucy Carey, Sarah O'Brien and Fiona Ryans, and I thank them for bunting, bouncy castles, balloons and much, much more. Vera Posner has masterminded the logistics of the food to ensure that we didn't end up with 1,000 sausage rolls and no cake. But none of this would have been possible without Brian. He's been absolutely inspirational, an infectious enthusiast who has driven it from the very start. Indeed, he came to see me first before Christmas, start the planning. He even had, and he will laugh ironically at this, a wet weather plan. He booked a church hall on the high street in case the inevitable happened, but that was voted down by the committee on the basis that a street party wouldn't really be the real thing without the rain. When he put his house up for sale 4 weeks ago, and sold it the next week, I thought that maybe he'd had enough and planned doing a runner before the party took place. But then I reflected, because he is a veteran of a Silver Jubilee party in Sunderland, a Golden Jubilee party in Moor Crescent, which many of you were present, and now this Diamond Jubilee. And so the conclusion I've come to is that he's moving early to Finchley to begin his preparations for the Platinum Jubilee, which will surely happen, taking with him his enthusiasms and experience to the metropolis to show them how it really should be done. We owe Brian and Vera a huge debt of gratitude. They're going to be sorely missed when they leave us later this summer, and I'd like you to thank them all on our behalves. And the final thanks go to you, the residents of Moor Crescent, their families and friends. It's been 10 years. It's good to see you again. We should perhaps do it more often. I hope you meet old friends, make new ones, but above all, enjoy yourselves in what is a uniquely British, eccentric occasion. You've turned up in numbers beyond all expectations. Thank you for that. 2 of you made a particularly generous donation anonymously, and that donation the committee decided should be used to pay for all the children, which is why there was no charge for the children's tickets. So whoever you are, thank you for that donation. So to our purpose. It's not been a good weekend for Republicans, really, has it? Whatever your views, the huge crowds we saw in rain-drenched London and the countless events the length and breadth of the country, there have been some 6,500 street closures, I gather, show that there remains a substantial body of support, affection and goodwill to suggest that it is because of the remarkable esteem in which Her Majesty the Queen is held. When he retired in 1955, Sir Winston Churchill wrote to the Queen, "I felt the impact of a new personality upon our unfolding history. I regard it as the most direct mark of God's favour that the whole structure of our new formed Commonwealth has been illuminated by a sparkling presence at its summit. Despite wars, strikes, scandals, natural disasters, good and bad times, the nearly 60 years since he wrote that, the Queen has remained our one constant. The majority of the population has never known another monarch. This is a historic moment, as Brian said. Hers is only the 2nd Diamond Jubilee in our history. She still has 3.5 years to beat Victoria and 22 years to beat King Sobhuzu of Swaziland, the longest serving monarch in the world. Looking at her, I would guess she's up for it. I think it can confidently be said that no one here, not even the youngest babe in arms, is ever likely to experience another Diamond Jubilee. So in a moment I'm going to ask Robert Chapman, former High Sheriff of Tyne and Wear, to cut the cake, but first let us savour the moment, pay tribute to her for her constancy, wish her long to reign over us and raise our glasses to Her Majesty the Queen. The Queen.
Somebody just leant on it. I'm so
With sandwiches. Hi.
Hi, I was looking at the cake, I'm fine. I'm husbandless, he's in America.
And all who eat this cake.
But no, Elizabeth made the cake and I just decorated it. It looks beautiful. Well, it's not